welcome to Toke Break. This is a show where we talk about things that you may or may not give a crap about, and if you don't, listen anyways. I'll hurt you. My name is Patrick, aka Grumble Fumble. Hell yeah, self-plug. I am your host. I'm joined today by my two co-hosts, Jacob.
That's me.
And Seamus, the man you heard scream at the beginning of this podcast. And I hope that that's how we start every podcast. It scares off the weak. And
yes, the faint of heart, the cowardly.
And we are joined today by a guest.
Hello.
A guest. This is a guest. That's how we will be.
Would you like to
addressing her.
introduce yourself, day guest?
Me? Okay. I'm Breton, aka Veronika Vixxen, and I'm a local drag queen from Calgary, Alberta.
Yay!
Yay me.
Oh God.
Sorry. Fucking hate Calgary.
I mean, same, but here I am.
Looking back on the capture, that all clipped, so I bet it's gonna
Yeah,
sound great.
that looks really loud. That hurt my
Fine.
hand a ton.
Thank you to our editor. It's probably
Me.
gonna be.
It's gonna be me.
It's gonna be someone.
It's James.
Fuck.
Well, we use Frick here.
Yeah.
Fuck!
So basically, the whole point of this show is that we're gonna talk about stuff, and then about halfway through, maybe we're gonna get really high, and then we're gonna talk about more
Maybe.
stuff.
This is called Toke Break. What the fuck?
Well, we're gonna get high. It all
Yeah,
depends
we're
on the
definitely
degree.
gonna get high.
And I was talking more so like halfway through. That's the debatable part.
I see what you're saying. This can be edited out.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. I thought you were like, we might get high. On
Like
a show
fake
called
Maybe.
Toke
Say,
Break.
say probably about halfway through.
Yeah, yeah. About halfway through, we're gonna get pretty decently high. Then we're gonna talk about things
Shit.
that you should probably be high to listen to. Otherwise, it's probably either gonna not make sense or be wildly unfunny. Which I mean, yeah, I get that.
That may just be the podcast
That
in general.
may
You
be
never
the
know.
podcast in general.
Yeah. So what you gotta do? You gotta be not at all up to date on current happenings, so we can inform you about them incorrectly.
Yeah, just
And
live
then-
under a rock.
Exactly.
Live under
Be
a
a
rock.
boomer.
Yes. Also,
This
This is a
podcast.
boomer podcast only, guys. We are there for you. We respect you. We fucking hate people who don't know what encyclopedias are. We will kill all of them, and we will create a race of
Yeah.
people that know.
okay, boomer. More like okay, get it, boomer.
Yeah, okay, get it. Work, boomers.
You do it. You do it, boomer.
Yes, boomer.
Yes!
Slay,
Work.
boomer, slay.
And then after that, we're gonna get unnecessarily turned, and then you need to be turned, or it will not make any sense.
Exactly. Exactly.
Like, even right now, that probably just
it would be. It would be.
derived from absolutely nothing, and you're just like, all right, I'm ready to leave now. But we just caught you, okay?
Yeah.
Stay, please.
Please,
yeah.
I need.
Please, I need this.
I need you.
All of the best comedians say that the best audience is a drunk audience. Well, that's not true, because a high audience is superior because they laugh at literally everything.
If you do shrooms, this may or may not be a bad trip.
This will probably be a bad trip.
We are
Yeah,
not
probably.
responsible for any
Yeah,
repercussions.
we're not responsible for any at all.
Okay, into the meat of the podcast.
Meat and potatoes.
Meat and potatoes.
Meat
I
and
don't.
potatoes in podcast.
Yes.
What are you talking? What we talking about today?
That's a good question.
All right.
Do you have a list? Because I don't.
Great.
Hey, well,
We're
you
so
know what?
prepared.
This
Ain't
is
got no list.
this is a great first episode.
Hey, so I heard a lot of people are really like memeing the hell out of Death Stranding and their like sponsorships and stuff like that. Like people are really like heavily reacting to the Monster energy drinks that have appeared in Death Stranding.
There's Monster energy drinks.
Yes, that's
So
that's
as
the
Death
main
Stranding.
source of fuel for your character.
The
Okay,
main
Kyle.
source. You literally have like there's a fucking sorry about the toms. Anyway, there's a main action where you literally can like slam a fucking Monster energy drink and hear that crisp crack, and you fucking slam that shit, and then you fucking take back America.
Yeah,
I live
one
Okay.
delivery at a time.
Honestly, like that.
But Jacob
That's the way
has
to
a
live.
couple of views on it, and I want to hear your take on the whole Death Stranding thing, because I think personally it's not a good game. Like as a storytelling thing, it's fantastic, but as a game, it's not good.
Yeah. Well, I like my attention span is minuscule at best. So I was trying to play that, and it was like, all right, go here, and it'll be hell. And then I was like, never again. So I've played about half an hour of the game. Never again. You can't make me. I will not.
So, what I'm really like interested in, because you bought it, I'm guessing, yes. So, does it follow the same what is it, game engine as like Metal Gear Solid, like Phantom Pain, like the engine that Kojima worked on, but ultimately
I'm not sure.
got taken away from? Is it kind of almost similar
It's
in the gameplay?
definitely similar. I've never played any of the Metal Gear Solid games,
Okay.
but from the
Have
footage
you
I've
seen like gameplay of it though?
from the footage I've seen, it's kind of similar.
Okay.
I don't know, my current knowledge of Death Stranding for like the little bit I've played and from everything I've heard is basically the game is literally perfect if it was fun.
That's fair, I suppose.
I feel like you also have to like be, I don't know, like you have to be a certain, I don't know. This may sound mega pretentious, but you may have to be a certain kind of gamer to get it, you know?
Oh, probably. Like, you gotta be the type of person who's like, I will sit there and I will play, like, Minecraft survival mode for 8 hours.
Yeah.
Like, Death Stranding is probably the
Maybe
same
that's my
type
kind of
thing.
game.
I honestly,
be
like,
down.
I really enjoy that kind of shit, and to see what, like, Kojima would have brought into such a massive game like that, seemingly boring, but, like, I feel like it would spin somewhere like, crazy within it. But
Yeah.
it's, like you said, it seems like it just, like, throws you into something that's unbelievably fucking hard, like, half an hour into the fucking
Well, it's
game.
not even that. It's not even like it's unbelievably hard. It's like grueling, and it kind of
really?
makes sense thematically. I am a huge Soulsborne fan. Still haven't gotten to Sekiro, but I love those games, and the game being really really hard, and the fact that these bosses feel nigh impossible to kill, and you feel like you are dying over and over again, and you feel like your soul is being constantly like threatening to like snuffed out, because it's kind of like the game like kind of tests your like force of will and your spirit when you play it.
Cool.
That's kind of the theme, and it ties to the
okay.
theme of the game. Death Stranding is similar. You are alone. It
Yeah.
is grueling. It is slow. It does tie to the theme. You are more invested in the world because of the gameplay. The issue is that gameplay is not fun. The Dark Souls gameplay, while difficult, is kind of fun and kind of rewarding, especially when you start to get it. Whereas Death Stranding, like, it is grueling the entire time. At least that's my
Okay.
opinion. As kind of someone who's like, give me RPGs, give me action elements, right? The game I've been currently slapping with is Outer Worlds, kind of behind on the day, but like that game's great, that game's fun, because like there's always stuff to do, and there's just random stuff coming up, and that's the type of game for me. So Death Stranding wasn't for me, but it'd definitely be for other people, especially if you're like music, visuals, story, character. If all of that is great, I don't care about the gameplay. If you're that kind of person and you're willing to basically like trek it across the wilderness for 5 hours to deliver an Amazon package, this game is for you.
I mean, yeah, fair enough.
I really, like, I don't know, like, a lot of people kind of, I don't know if a lot of people gave Red Dead shit, but, like, I really enjoyed Red Dead mainly because of its story and storytelling. So, if it's along the same kind of level as that, I don't
Red Dead
know,
had
like-
fun gameplay, though.
And that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like,
And that was a large part of it too, is the fact that Red Dead had like very captivating gameplay
Yeah,
as well
exactly.
on top of it all, and that was just icing on the cake.
yeah.
Like,
Which-
yeah, it's, like, respectful to put so much effort into a story, but, like, if you're gonna make the gameplay boring, why wouldn't you just make it like a movie?
Yeah,
You
which
know?
is also what I've heard a couple people arguing
Yeah.
about, is like, yeah, just if it was a movie, it would have been fantastic.
Yeah.
And also the cast is prime.
Cast is crazy.
Conan O'Brien, Guillermo
Conan
del
O'Brien,
Toro,
like,
like
what the
holy
fuck?
crap.
Apparently that's an Easter egg, I think.
Conan?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Like, you
I
have
don't
to
know.
collect.
I
It's
haven't
like
played
a
the game.
collection. of things. I don't know.
We're all a bunch of assholes who haven't actually played the game.
Yeah,
We're
I'm gonna
talking
complain
it.
about the game, but I'm not gonna touch it.
You know what? I don't know.
I'm poor and don't have that money to
Yeah,
spare.
honestly, same.
So,
Yeah, fair enough. All right, Half-Life. There is news today about Half-Life.
3 guys, it's here
Yeah,
and
Half-Life
it's to
3.
stay.
No, it's the VR Half-Life game called.
Nope.
I think it was called Half-Life Alyx.
Axles or
I
something.
think
Axles.
I believe it
It's
was
Half-Life
Alyx.
Axles.
Well, Alex's name in Half-Life was spelled Alyx.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, and it's their they.
Alex.
The funny thing that I saw in the tweet is that they said they wanted to make 3 fully fledged VR games, and we all know how Valve is with the number 3. They can't count to it.
No. They're not. So what the fuck? They're gonna make a third VR. They're gonna make a third Half-Life in VR, but not regularly. Get the fuck out of my face.
Maybe for all we know, they're making Half-Life 1 and 2 again in VR, and then they're
They're
not even gonna make a third VR game. That would be like
fuck you
Half-Life,
guys.
like, what is it?
That
Blue
would be
Coast or some shit, like one of the shitty like DLCs from number 1. Just like, guys, we've made a fucking Black Mesa in VR, guys. The most fucking, no one plays this, but we made a VR game of it.
And that's our fully fledged VR.
Hey, we made Team Fortress 2 1 VR. Also Unreal Tournament, the first one.
Yeah,
now you can relive everything in VR.
Yeah,
I did a quick Google. It is Half-Life Alyx, ALYX.
Okay.
And they are releasing more info on this Thursday. They said I think they were doing a live stream or something where they were going to actually like talk about the game. So as far as everyone knows right now, it's a VR game. It's Half-Life. It's made by Valve. So who knows? Might be good.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, like, honestly, like, how, like, Gmod has their VR thing going on. It looks pretty... Yeah, Gmod has some really cool VR shit. And it's, like, it's really cool because rather than just having floating hands, it uses the player models that you put into the game. So you have arms that can actually move around and shit like that. And, like, they're opposable and shit. And you can see... You can, like, pick up different items that you spawn, and you can use the fucking spawning gun and fucking shoot it around
sick.
everywhere. And
that's also
rope
something
gun.
I'm excited for with the new Half-Life game, because Valve also helped to make Oculus, I believe, right? Did they?
Yeah, I think they had their own, like...
Oh, no, they did
have their own
brand.
version of it.
Yeah. But Oculus has like all these new features and stuff on like their latest models. I want to see if they can manage to incorporate that into the new models of Oculus or something.
Yeah, true. Well, I mean, the Steam has these like controllers that like for
they're
a while.
pressure sensitive on like fingers.
Well,
and stuff.
it's not even pressure sensitive. It's like they have like sensors around the top of them, and like you hold on to them, and then like if you like release them, it'll just like track the movement of your fingers, so you can like have opposable fingers in the game. They were like one of the first ones to implement that technology into like VR hands.
Hopefully they'll be able to put that into the new game, and that's also something I'm looking forward to seeing.
Boop, I can press buttons.
Dude,
yo, what if there's like
there's
a
one
massive button puzzle that you have to fucking do? That would be
dude. If there's one thing I'm more excited for it than anything else, is flipping off Morgan Freeman.
Yeah!
Not Morgan Freeman, Gordon Freeman. Holy crap. Flipping off Gordon Freeman in VR, dude.
Freeman.
Yo, if you flip off Morgan Freeman, he's gonna turn into...
God and kill you.
He'll just smite me on the spot.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to turn into God. He already is.
I mean, true, yeah.
Fuck, honestly, fair enough.
All right,
His
so...
mole will eat you. It'll suck you into him.
That's really mean.
It's really mean, but it's true. I mean,
now you're definitely getting smart.
Oh my god. I feel my body tearing apart.
You'd go to heaven and he's like,
going
no,
into the
you
void
made
of
fun of
Morgan
my mole
Freeman's
that
fucking
one time.
Mole. Yo, I meet Morgan Freeman. He knows I made fun of his mole. Holy shit. Morgan Freeman, I love your work. Yeah, you made fun of my mole, piece of shit. Fuck, what?
Screw you, man.
How do you know that?
I like that.
I was doing my Oh.
He
listen to
listens.
the podcast now?
He's a fan.
Whoa, dude.
Yeah, that's
Dude, I don't even need you to like me. Listen to the podcast.
This podcast is not in any way affiliated with Morgan Freeman.
Although I wish it was.
Hey, Morgan Freeman.
Morgan, hit me up, boy.
Come on the podcast.
Sponsor us. Thank you.
Morgan Freeman, come on the podcast.
Yeah, come into my basement.
Smoke up, dude.
In rural area.
Rural area.
Rural Alberta.
Fuck!
I'm willing
Now
to
they're gonna
give
kill
up.
us, man.
He's gonna know where we are.
They know
He's
we're
gonna
in Calgary. It's fine.
Yeah, true. Okay, we're in
Rural Canada.
We're inside of Calgary, right? Ah! I don't think that Calgary is like. I don't know. Calgary's pretty cool. Edmonton's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Oh, can confirm as somebody
Yeah.
who grew up there. Yeah.
Edmonton's
Fuck it.
awful.
Didn't you live like a block away from a meth bust?
No. Well, yeah, but I lived.
Well,
I thought you were gonna say something else, and then you didn't. I lived in a small town outside Edmonton. That's the meth capital of Alberta.
Nice.
So that shit happened quite
I
regularly.
guess so.
I used to walk
One of your
past.
teachers got stabbed to death?
She didn't get stabbed, but she did get killed.
Oh, okay.
She got
that happened here.
Yeah.
No, she didn't get killed.
She didn't get killed, but she did get stabbed. It was
Oh.
one of the deli owners.
The polar opposite.
Probably want to edit that out.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit? Fuck them.
Yeah, it was actually really sad though.
Because
Yeah,
they
that's
got
true.
more than just
Rest in peace.
stabbed with a knife.
Rest in peace. Yeah. What, yeah. Well, we don't have to talk about the case because that's not us.
She got
She got razor.
razor.
She got razor burned really bad, dude. She fucking tried shaving that morning and got fucking really razor burned. Rest in peace.
Then she got stabbed.
Then she got stabbed. Razor burned and
Just
stabbed.
a bad
yeah.
day
Real
overall.
bad day. Anyway, rest in peace. All right.
Yeah,
Still
Edmonton.
alive.
Rest in whatever.
I used to walk by kids.
Good job conquering your goal.
Okay, now this is being edited out.
I used to literally walk by kids like shooting heroin on the way to school.
Wow.
And I was
Oh.
like, ooh, I
We
love that.
love-
I was like 10.
We love Edmonton. It's what is it? Spruce Grove.
Spruce Grove, yeah.
Spruce Grove.
Yeah. My dad grew up in Edmonton too.
Yeah, it's a
And
garbage place.
I think he agrees that Edmonton is not great. That's probably why he moved out of it.
Yeah, my parents, on the other hand, hate living in Calgary and would much rather move back to Edmonton, but I'm like, no thanks.
You feel free.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was
Calgary
like,
is fucking
peace.
like actually beautiful. Like
Yeah,
it's
and
crazy.
I
Like
like-
Princess Island Park, like
Yeah.
like the Bow River running through that shit.
Yeah.
You know-
Edmonton, on the other hand, is like very industrial and very
Yeah,
dirty.
there's so much fucking.
There's literally
steel mills
nothing
and
like
shit.
pretty.
Well, if on like a nice summer day, if you ever just like go downtown and just like walk around.
Yeah, like,
man,
it's
it's
nice.
crazy.
It's nice.
And like
Yeah.
like we have
Beautiful.
like little places like Kensington and Inglewood that are like they have all these local businesses and stuff that are really nice.
Yeah.
Whereas Edmonton is just like you get like White Ave, which has some shopping centers in it, and then you have West Ed, and that's it. Everything else is just like industrial and
All of
neighborhoods.
downtown sucks.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
stayed in downtown for a weekend because my dad had work there, and like my sister and I tried to figure out things to do there. We walked around and went to the library.
Yeah, there's nothing. There's literally nothing.
Speaking of Kensington, eat at the Big Cheese Poutineery.
Don't
We are
eat
not
at the
sponsored.
Big
It's
Cheese
good.
Poutineery. He is lying to you. It's garbage.
You're not allowed to talk about it. You're lactose.
I was gonna say this is a lactose intolerant person.
Yo,
I had
if y'all
that-
in Kensington, go to the board game cafe, play any board game you want for like a couple bucks.
I had the vegan poutine at Big Cheese.
Vegan poutine, ew.
And that's
Was it
why. That's why I
awful?
have a personal vendetta against.
Was
the
it
Big
not
Cheese
good?
now.
No
They
sh-
used the stupid tofu cheese.
Ew.
It didn't
bro.
melt on the poutine. It was just there.
At
Hey.
least they made an effort, I suppose.
There's some
I don't even
fucking
think they
tofu
did. They
on a
like they
block.
bought like that crappy Daya stuff that like looks
Oh.
dyed.
Pronounced Dea.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever.
I work with that.
It's just it's.
Daya, whatever.
It's Dea. They make pizzas. They're not good.
They
No,
do make
yeah,
pizzas
they're
and they're
terrible.
worse. So to be fair, Daya just has crap product.
Daya, get the fuck
Alright.
off the market.
Big Cheese, you're fine. Stop
Daya.
buying Daya. Don't buy Daya. Make your own cheese.
Yeah, do it.
Culture your own cheese.
Culture your
Lazy.
own vegan cheese.
Jesus fuck.
You'd have better luck.
I don't think it's actually cheese if it's vegan though.
No, not really. It's like
It's like a polymer. It's gross. It's plastic.
You.
it's craft singles.
No,
No.
craft singles at least have probably like milk powder in them.
I don't know. Maybe not even that.
I think if you look at the back, it says milk product. you
Yeah.
know when it just says
Milk
that?
byproduct.
Yeah.
Byproduct, yes.
It's like that leftover curd I find in the bottom of the jugs of milk.
It's
Also,
not.
It's like,
Yeah.
that's perfect.
I love natural flavoring, like on anything I see, because natural flavoring literally could just be like shit flakes sprinkled into it, and that's natural
But
flavoring.
it is. It's natural.
Shit flakes.
Seriously, you could put shit inside of your product, and it's natural flavoring.
Made with pure natural MSG.
I like
That's
that.
my favorite thing. Everyone's like, "Oh, natural," and then everyone's like, "Oh, I can handle natural." But they see something they don't understand, like MSG, and they're like, "They're scared." It's like MSG is fine. Like
Yeah.
it might give you a slight headache because some people are sensitive to it, but it's fine. It's
Yeah,
it's
it just
actu-
tastes.
it is
It's a
completely-
lot of salt.
It is
It's just a lot of salt.
very
basically.
sodium rich.
like it is but it's completely edible, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not an issue. So like that's a weird thing is everyone who's like, I don't know what this thing means.
No
and it's
MSG,
like,
man.
right?
Fuck MSG.
No MSG. Although if there's tomato powder, there's MSG in that,
yeah.
right?
Like
Like
also like any beef stock, any gravy, like
Yeah.
that all
Anything
has MSG
condensed.
because MSG is used as like a beef flavor enhancer.
Yeah.
it's it like just enhances salt by a lot.
Well, yeah, and like particularly with beef,
Yep.
that's why it's always used in it.
Yeah, goes in
Fuck.
burgers.
Yeah.
Wow, we've been just going off about
About
some shit. Like
random
we
things.
like
We were talking about
honestly,
Death Stranding, now
We,
we're talking about-
we have no list. as you remember at the beginning. So we're just
Pulling
going.
shit out of our
We're just
asses.
fucking going. You know what? This may be a good time to segue into how being a YYC drag queen is.
Yeah,
Oh,
let's
man.
actually talk to our guest. How
Hello.
about that?
Well, what do you want to know?
Um,
What tea do you need me to spill?
I want-
Actually, I can only say certain things,
Okay.
otherwise I might get barred from certain venues, but it's fine.
I have a question in particular about crap you might be getting from people saying that a female drag queen is not okay.
Oh boy.
Because
okay.
Let's get this take.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I want to know.
Takes.
I want what is your opinion? Because I always see everyone else's opinion.
Yeah. So here's the thing: is that when you actually involve yourself in like your local scene, nobody gives a shit. Like in real life, it's just people on the internet that care.
Yeah.
It's people who think it's usually like straight, white, cisgendered teenagers who watch RuPaul's Drag Race once and think they know everything.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, you have to be a man to do drag, but they don't expose themselves to the actual world of it. Like, I've seen people who identify as, like, non-binary, gender fluid, transgender, cisgender men, cisgender women, doing all forms of drag because it's just about fucking with gender. It's not about, like, oh, you have to be a certain gender to do certain things. Also, that's really misogynistic to say. Like, oh, you're a woman and you can't do this in any situation. That's really fucking rude. And nobody should say that. Just let me exist in the way that I want to exist and create my art. Thank you.
Well, yeah, and my big thing on the whole thing was that just like drag itself is like that's the topic of like,
Yeah,
the
exactly.
performance. That's not specifically male oriented.
Yeah.
It's just the fact that that's the style.
And a lot of the
people
times,
let's
like,
dress.
a lot of the times
Yeah.
male drag queens, like, make fun of women with their drag, and that's fine. It's funny.
Yeah.
We like it. But if you're gonna sit there and make fun of a certain gender, you can't disclude that gender from the art form.
Yeah.
That's not how this works. You have to create an inclusive space.
And that's like the whole point of it in the first place.
Exactly. It's about creating a space for everybody to be whoever they want.
And
And
especially at the venues that it's at. That's especially where it
yeah,
should be
and
the
like
most
I
important.
found like certain venues I don't feel comfortable at because there are a lot of people who are like, oh, you're a woman and you do drag, that's strange and we don't like it. And then there's other venues where all of my friends are and they're like, we love you and you're amazing and you're valid.
Yeah.
So I guess like I do encounter discrimination on a daily basis, but I do my best to avoid it because like
And
I don't want to
I'm
deal
sure,
with that.
I'm sure it's just also much less, especially because like the whole internet versus
Yeah.
reality thing. 'Cause,
Yeah,
like,
people don't want to say it to your face. They'll
Yeah.
say it like behind
like,
a screen.
especially with you see it especially with like huge people on the internet. Like,
Oh, yeah.
if they go after the person that criticizes them, they'll immediately cave
yeah,
because
exactly.
they just want the attention themselves.
Yeah.
and that they realize that they got it, so like, oh, sorry.
Just kidding. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, I didn't understand, but it's like if you didn't understand, you shouldn't be saying those
Exactly.
things. Like, I get in a lot of arguments with people who are like Drag Race fans because they just watch RuPaul's Drag Race and think that's all drag is. It's about men dressing as women and looking pretty, but it's not. It's about expressing your inner feelings.
Or
As,
art.
yeah, it's art.
It's a
It literally is.
art form. It's an
Because
art
I've seen literally like people like drench themselves in blood and other fluids, and that's not pretty. Like it's not, but it's an art form, and
Yes.
usually the song that they're doing is expressing something that they're feeling inside. Because sometimes it's easier to do that on stage than it is to just like talk about how you're
Absolutely.
feeling.
Yeah. When you're doing it as a performance piece, it's a lot easier than just saying it.
Because you're at, and also like in drag, like you're performing as somebody who's like a different person.
Yeah.
Like you are an alter ego, so it's so much fucking easier. And that's why I do it, because I'm like, I can express myself so much easier now, because I'm not Breton, I'm Veronika, and she's crazy and weird and confident and does whatever she wants and doesn't care.
I'm gonna become a drag queen specifically just to get all my aggressions out. I'll
Do
just start
it!
beating people
Do it
up.
out of spite,
Start
it's
like
fine.
beating people up in the stands, like
There's just
Fuck
part of the
you.
show.
you, Dad.
I like that.
I have a question. Have you noticed in those, like you mentioned, performance spaces that you don't feel comfortable in? Have you known any kind of like? Is there very much reason as to why you don't feel comfortable? Has anything happened? like,
Not
with your
personally to
friends?
me, but yeah, to my friends. I can't say much because I'll get in trouble.
Okay.
But yeah, I've had friends who have been verbally attacked, physically
Really?
attacked
Wow.
at these certain venues because they identify outside of like the gender binary, or they don't perform stereotypical drag, or they just said something that somebody disagreed with. But, like, nobody should be violent towards each other in a safe queer space.
Yeah.
Everybody should just be on one level.
Just don't be violent.
Yeah, exactly. How about that? Yeah.
Don't be violent.
Yeah, literally, even if you go to, like,
Chill.
a nightclub filled with straight people, don't be violent towards anybody, please.
Yeah, chill.
Don't be violent people.
Yeah.
Based on what I'm hearing, I'm not super like familiar with this community.
Yeah,
but
that's fine.
But at least from like what I'm hearing with this, it's like almost like cheerleaders and like male
Yeah, a little
cheerleaders,
bit.
right? It's
Yeah.
kind of like that where it's like, yes, this is a space that's traditionally these people and
Yeah.
it looks this way, but it doesn't have to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an art form. There's a lot to it.
And
Exactly.
and that's the major thing, is that it just doesn't have to.
And, like, it's
Doesn't have to.
evolved so much in, like, the past few years. Like, with drag becoming so much more mainstream with things like RuPaul's Drag Race. Like, that's how I got into it. I saw Drag Race, and I was like, I want to do that. And then I thought I couldn't, because I was like, I'm a woman. And then I found this, like, one person on Instagram who was a woman who did drag, and I was like, yo, I can do this? What the hell? Okay, I guess. And then I started doing it, and I was like, okay. And everybody, literally, like, the majority of the community embraced me with open arms. There's just certain people that, like, I'm not comfortable being around.
That's honestly the same with every conceivable
Yeah, exactly.
community out there. There's always going to be people who are just shitheads.
Yeah, especially artistic communities, I find. Because
especially
certain
artistic.
people...
Elitists.
Yeah, people are pretentious, and they're like,
Absolutely.
oh, I get more gigs than you. Oh, I perform on bigger stages than you. I have more Instagram followers than you. I'm better.
Well, like,
That's
being a
nice.
musician, like, yeah,
Yeah.
like, being a musician, that's fucking everywhere. There
It's
are so
just
many
art in
fucking
general,
elitists
right?
in every fucking genre of music. That just, like, you can't win.
Yeah, it's
matter
literally
what.
art in general, and you're always going to run into people who are pretentious, and they're like, oh, you don't do it this way? Then you suck. Like...
You're in, like, what are you in again? Like,
Well,
in
I
terms of-
actually have a different take here. It doesn't like I don't even think this is just exactly art. Like
Yeah, no, it's
like because
everything.
this is
Yeah,
like similar
that's
to me,
true.
right? I'm a religious individual.
Yes.
I've attended churches. I know religious people, and like the majority of them are totally chill, absolutely reasonable people. But you'll have some freaking wingnuts who are like, "You celebrate Halloween, you're not a real Christian," and
Yeah.
it's like what is
What? How? Like, what the
well, it's this whole thing where it's like, oh, that's
ancient
like
pagan
that's
holiday.
it's like this ancient pagan holiday, and it's like, yes, that's like the origin of it, and you could say like don't celebrate the origin, right?
Yeah.
I would argue that if you're a Christian on Halloween, you probably shouldn't be dressing up like a serial killer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But if you want to dress up like yourself on vacation in the middle of winter and show up and have a good time with some friends, I see no issue with that. And
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
especially the younger generation of religious people. I know multiple religious people who like identify as non-binary or who
Yeah.
are gay, right? Like that's a thing. So it's this weird thing where I think anywhere, like anytime there's anywhere that people care about, there's gatekeeping.
Yeah, exactly.
I had to say something about kind of like religious people and like gay queer spaces, but like I was in band in high school and we performed at Knox Church in Calgary, and yeah, I mean that was really like it was really cool there. Like,
Knox marches in Pride
in
Parade.
pride parades
every year.
They have like LGBT flags inside of their church.
Yeah, no,
Like-
definitely not all churches are bad. Like, because I know
No.
literally one of my best friends in the entire world is, like, she's bisexual. She's dating, like, she identified as a lesbian for a long, long time and dated only girls, and literally went to church every Sunday, like, has cross, like, necklaces and everything, like, and religion, like, helped her through a really hard time in her life. And she was like, yeah, like, God loves everybody. And
Yeah.
for people to sit there and say, like, oh, because you're gay or because you're transgender, God hates you, is so stupid and so hypocritical.
Yeah, absolutely.
Religious people, like, a lot of religious people have a lot of hypocrisy. And it's just...
Well, yeah, and that's like something that like kills me a ton.
Yeah.
Especially, it's like I want to see like this community grow, right? Like that's an important thing to me is discipleship, right? Right. Being a Christian, an important thing is to cause more Christians to exist in the world, and going to people and saying, "God hates you."
There's
Great.
not a way to be inclusive.
That's a great way to bring people into this,
Yeah,
right?
right.
Whereas it's like if you want to bring people, it's like, hey, God loves you. You can mess up, but God loves you.
Yeah.
That's like kind of like the whole broad note of Christianity, at least in my opinion, is basically recognize you mess up, ask God for forgiveness, you're good.
Yeah, exactly.
That's literally all you need to do. If anyone tells you need to do anything outside of that, now you have to like mean it, right? You have to mean it when you ask for forgiveness,
Yeah.
right? You have to mean that. But if you do that, that's it. Like,
Yeah.
there are other things, there's other traditions to go along with it. I'm a Baptist. I think you should get baptized, but you don't have to. You don't have to do more.
Exactly.
Like, we shouldn't dictate what other people have to and have to do. You know what I mean? Like, everyone should just have the freedom to live their own lives unless they're being shitty people.
Fair enough.
Oh man, this is the podcast to save them all. All problems are going to disappear after this. We're just
Well, you know, if everyone followed the hot take, don't be shit.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
Then
yeah.
we'd all be fine. Like, let's just respect other people regardless if you disagree or, like, agree with what they're doing, unless it's immediately hurting you. That's kind of my, like, policy.
Yeah.
Dope. Well, I think this was a good time to take our Toke Break.
Toke break.
Toke break time.
Toke Break. We'll be right back.
After these messages.
Hello. We're back.
We have smoked an amount,
Does
and I don't know about y'all, but I'm pretty toked out.
I'm pretty toasty.
I'm pretty toasty, pretty warm.
What's this show called again?
This is the Toke Break.
Yeah.
We just had our Toke Break, and I hope you did too. Because
it was great.
by golly, weed is a thing.
It's there.
It's there.
Made by life.
Made by life. Made by God himself. God created weed so we could smoke it.
Wow.
Jacob, you're the religious?
This is the math
Well,
checkout.
God created weed.
Yeah.
Definitely. Did he create it so we could smoke it? I don't know. But God created weed. There's other purposes, right? Hemp rope is useful.
That was mankind's genius.
It was a gift from God.
Well, like the
Much
existence,
unlike
right?
food.
The existence of the THC and what it does to the human psyche, that's a gift from God. The question is whether or not that's intended or whether or not it's like
Who's the
just a
different
thing.
god that controls that?
No,
Shiva?
no, it's still God. Like what I'm talking about.
God.
I'm talking about it's like you know, like God didn't intend for you to eat like the difference between eating your sandwich with tomatoes and eating your sandwich with pickles or whatever. God didn't like
This
fucking.
bitch don't like tomatoes.
I don't, but thank
But
you.
that choice, right? That choice has like fucking no moral weight to it.
I'm joking. She
Doesn't
ain't
matter
a
whether
bitch.
you do or don't, right?
She is a respectable lady.
Right.
Thank you so much.
Tomato is something to eat, but it's not like the whole thing.
Yeah,
So like,
fair enough.
like it's like I don't think there's any moral relativeness. Getting a little crunked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's something specific about drunk. I have to look more into it. Sounds like I've looked more into. I know you're not supposed to be like drunk because you're commanded not to. I don't know if that exists for weed. I don't know if it should exist for weed. I don't know.
I think it's
I'll say a fat
time.
prayer about that.
I think it's about time for a particular segment on the podcast I love. Things that would totally slap to eat right now.
All right, hot take, y'all. Lasagna would totally slap right now.
Yo, honestly, like, I was at work, but, Breton was over, and she had baked, what was it?
It was like mac and cheese.
Baked mac and cheese. And it was like, what did it have in it?
I have no idea, but it was really good.
What could you guess was in it?
It had like breadcrumbs on top
Frick.
and stuff.
Dude, this sounds
and
like the fucking
and
binging with
cheese
badish
baked
mac
all
and
over
cheese.
it.
Was
Food
there
porn.
like tomatoes and shit? 'Cause
Yeah.
I saw some red shit.
Yeah, I
inside of
think
the
so. But it was like really subtle.
They were
It was-
like chopped
yeah.
up. What is it?
Could have been like a tomato paste. Or...
I have no idea, but it was really
It
good.
seemed like chopped up tomato in there. Well, my parents don't use tomato paste. They like to do it like.
There will be a link in the description that is the recipe to all these.
Yo,
Every
my guy.
single one of these.
Go ask your mom.
Things that would totally slap to eat right now.
Patrick's take.
My take. Honey cruller donut.
Yes, I'm feeling that. Oh, yeah.
Seamus.
Well, I don't know. I feel. Damn, like it's a really tough one.
It's a hard call, man.
It's a really hard call. 'Cause there's so much going through my mind all the time at once, and it's just really hard to narrow my focus on it. You know what I'm
Focal
talking-
focus.
focal focus. But like, I mean, I think on the previous podcast that we've never recorded ever, I've said cheesecake, and I will stick to that. Cheesecake, a nice
Cheesecake.
creamy cheesecake.
Agreed.
No, baked or non-baked. I don't
All
discriminate.
types of cheesecake are accepted
Baked
here.
or non-baked. I don't discriminate.
That's my phone.
Jacob's breaking shit.
Don't break my
Jacob's
own
dropping
phone.
his phone
Ain't
everywhere.
baking no
cake.
I'm a little.
Oh my god.
I don't know.
I'm a little.
Ain't making no cakes.
My name's
So-
Eminem.
I'm a little big.
Also, I'm so sorry, everyone, if the podcast has gotten louder at all. It is because it is very late, and I'm a grown man who still lives with my parents. I don't want to wake them up, so I would like to keep the volume at a relatively low level, and I have turned the input level of the volume higher.
Thank you.
Higher. Was that a pun, dude?
Yes, on Toke Break, because I
Shut
turned
the
it
fuck
higher.
Well, that's all I'm saying, boy.
Because we got higher with the weed, I had to turn the audio up.
We're getting too
Oh
close.
Jesus!
That's gonna be
Oh,
a
no.
beach when you're editing.
The audio captured. Just
Please
had
stay,
a
please
heart
stay,
attack.
please stay, everyone. I didn't mean to do that to you.
Probably just edit all this
I'm
out.
so sorry.
Please.
Alright, what would totally slap the ear right now for me, bro?
Hey, we missed our guest. What would totally slap
Come
right
on,
now,
man.
What
Breton?
would totally slap the ear?
Pancakes.
Pancakes.
Bro.
Yes.
Like peanut butter.
Oh yeah.
Peanut butter.
Chocolate chip pancakes.
Nut.
Although I gotta say, I don't know if this is controversial. Waffles are better than pancakes.
No, you're wrong.
Man, I don't know.
Belgian waffles, yes.
I like the
Eggo
crunch.
waffles, no.
I like the
Just-
crunch in a waffle.
Yeah, just
I
regular
like,
waffles.
I like really, really fluffy pancakes, man. Like super
You know what?
fluffy.
It depends on my mood.
I'm always in the mood for dense. I don't know why. I'm always just like, give me something that's gonna like go.
Oof.
That's what pancakes have a lot of the time. That's why I'm more partial towards pancakes against just the casual waffle.
I don't mean like an oomph. I mean like a.
I love this discourse.
Yo, hey, hold on. I got a hot take
There's
right now.
civil debate
Do
on
you
it. What's
guys
better.
put maple syrup on your eggs and bacon?
Yes.
No.
Not
Not my eggs, but my bacon.
Bacon and sausage. Yes.
Bro, you guys are fucked in the head.
Not my
man.
eggs. Not
So
my meat.
good.
The eggs are amazing, and the bacon, everything.
You're- no.
syrup
I
wouldn't
and
do
everything,
eggs.
it's amazing.
The syrup goes only on like bread and bread like
Have you-
things.
have
Do
you
not put
ever-
syrup on your meat.
Have you ever tried the eggs?
I haven't
Jacob,
tried
have
the
you
eggs.
had candied bacon? 'Cause
No,
that's what it
it's-
tastes like, just better.
No, but it's like just like a little bit of syrup. I don't know. I'm just like,
DIY
I prefer to
candied
just eat that.
bacon.
Next
I prefer to
time
eat that
you-
straight. I like that savory
Next
flavor.
time
I'm a
you
savory
guys
guy.
voted fucking Denny's or sponsor us, please. Or like
Knowing the Dennis
Cora's-
Tumblr account.
Cora's sponsor us, please. Or let's say IHOP, don't sponsor us. We don't give a fuck about you.
No, IHOP sucks.
Next time
I've been
you're
to one
at
IHOP.
any-
It was not epic.
Next time you're at any breakfast joint, put that fucking maple syrup on some of those eggs and take a bite. You will fucking be turned.
Like
for
scrambled
life.
eggs or
Scrambled.
Okay.
Yes. Scrambled.
you know
only.
what? I can see that.
No other
I can
eggs.
see
Okay.
scrambled
Runny
egg
eggs.
more.
Runny eggs are disgusting with that. Fuck that
Especially
shit.
from like
Okay.
IHOP.
I've
'Cause I'm-
tried it.
I was sitting here and I'm like, why would you do that to an eggs Benedict?
Fuck no, not the eggs Benny. That's the holidays job.
Bro, not the eggs
That's-
Benny though.
Things that would slap right now?
And fucking eggs.
A good eggs Benny.
Breakfast discourse.
Bro, honestly, breakfast foods are always a fucking.
You brought this upon us.
I love this. This is my favorite
Yeah, you
topic.
fucking said pancakes.
Breakfast
and
hot
now we're
takes do I
fucking
have?
gone.
Breakfast hot takes. Regular farmer sausage, I'm not a fan. I mean, not farmer, like the
Breakfast?
mini sausages. Like
Yeah,
the
I hate.
breakfast,
I don't like
like
breakfast
the ones
sausage.
that have like
Those.
just like the film on them. I don't like
Yeah,
that.
too sweet.
I like
love them.
turkey breakfast sausages.
I like.
Oh,
like
that's
the
valid.
Thick, like the thick
Yeah.
ones.
Yeah.
Unbelievably random interjection alert. What do you guys think about Marvel movies as actual film in like the broad spectrum of like cinema?
Are you talking about? Are you referring
Martin
to Martin
Scorsese.
Yeah.
I'm referring to
Yeah.
Martin Scorsese and
Yeah,
his beliefs
I-
on Marvel films.
Marvel
and DC.
I kind of understand it. I don't like his example because honestly, I think the more accurate example doesn't really fit the point well, and people kind of miss the point. So I'm gonna kind of like try and explain at least my take. They feel more like comic books.
Yeah.
And you could argue that's a good thing for comic book movies. It has served Marvel well because people are actually getting this comic experience in an easier to digestible and a little more mainstream way, right? But it is like that. People are in other people's stories. You've got overarching stories, blah blah blah. Like it's different for film medium, but it's this weird thing we're always hopping back and forth, right? They're not they're not really independent. And even the ones that are independent aren't independent anymore, right? I think a good example of that is Spider-Man: Homecoming,
Yeah.
right? Because Iron Man's always there. So I think that's what we're seeing for this. So that's why they're like comic books. The issue is the comic book answer sounds weird because you're like, well, of course they seem like comic books. They're comic book movies,
Exactly.
right? But I see what he's saying where it's like this doesn't really feel like the cinema form. right?
Yeah,
You're watching it doesn't feel like you're really watching a movie.
Yeah.
Whenever I watch a Marvel movie, I kind of want to talk about the content the same way I want to talk about the content when I read all of Injustice.
Yeah.
Right? It's
This guy will fucking hang out with us and read all of Injustice.
Jacob has a tendency when he's high to just read all of Injustice.
right, but like I'll go off about Injustice or other comics I'm reading because it's cool, but it's like it's easier to do it with the Marvel movies, so I understand it, and that's how I feel coming out of the movie. Whereas like honestly, I ain't gonna do it. It's topical. It's kind of on theme. Joker, I came out of that like feeling like the cinema experience.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Even right, and it's like this with Marvel movies where it's like even other gimmicky action movies, I still get the movie feel. What I'll be talking about. Love that film, Godzilla, King of the Monsters.
Oh yeah.
Like I love that movie, but I come out feeling the movie feel. Whereas when I leave a Marvel movie, and it might just be because there's so many of them, they're kind of their art form themselves, right?
Yeah,
But I come out of that and I'm like, I'm feeling this Marvel movie feel, and it's not the same as the cinema
It's
feel.
like it's almost like a ride, and that's what he said. It was almost like a theme park experience to him, and I don't know, like
Well, that's an interesting
I really
take on
understand that.
I understand that,
Right.
yeah.
But like he was like, I think I saw something about him talking about Joker, and he was like, yes, I can understand the influence that like I had, and I talked to the director, and he's a very good director. It's just again based off of the character and what the character behind it is. It still seems to me like one of those theme park movies, and that's very unfortunate, I feel, because like that was like it was really fucking well done. It completely did not seem like any of the fucking
Marvel
like,
movies.
Marvel fucking DC fucking Justice League movies. Like it was
Fucking X-Men. God, I hate current X-Men.
honestly.
Yeah.
The fucking new TV shows that they're coming out with, fuck. They've got that new fucking like timeline, the alternate timeline.
Oh, for
fucking
X-Men?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's like the thing where like First Class was amazing.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah, it was
Days of
decent.
Future
Yeah.
Days of Future Past is
Days of Future Fat Days.
is my favorite of the ones with James McAvoy.
Yeah.
That's definitely my favorite.
Apocalypse is
Apocalypse is
weird.
It's not great.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And literally the advertising for it was so bad, and combined with Apocalypse, I am a pretty big comic fan. I like these movies. I love the X-Men. I loved Logan. But
Logan was great.
right,
Yeah.
I didn't see, and I don't intend to see Dark Phoenix.
Yeah, neither.
Yeah,
don't-
I saw that and I was
don't-
wildly
I
uninterested.
don't like her.
I didn't like the original X-Men 3.
Well, that's the whole thing. It's like you're kind of making, like, you're taking the same premise of a movie. I understand why you did it because it's a huge important part of these characters in the comics.
Yeah.
But you're taking a fucking generally hated movie, right? You're taking The Matrix 3, right? You're taking a movie that's
Yeah.
not well liked, and you're basically redoing that instead of something popular. Like, that's already a bad move. And then combined, and I understand why some people like her. She seems like an excellent person in all her interviews, and she is a good actress in some good roles. But I don't like Sophie Turner as Jean Grey at all.
No.
Yeah, no, I was never really.
Like, it's this weird thing where it's like I do like her a lot as an actress. Like, I really, really enjoy. It was this weird thing where you don't really like her, but you definitely appreciate and enjoy the performance of her in Game of Thrones. But in the later seasons, and I can't put blame on her for it, because in the later seasons the writing gets weird, and when you're not fucking like in the later seasons, where you're not one of these like excellent actors like Peter Dinklage, right, or I think Nikolai, I don't know, guy who plays Tyrion, not Tyrion, fucking Jaime Lannister, like, or Lena Headey, like, when you're these big, like, excellent actors, you can really do this, whereas if you're just a good actor, or actress for Sophie Turner, right, that dialogue looks really bad, because you can't carry it yourself.
Exactly.
So I do like her as an actress, but I don't like her as Jean Grey.
No. Yeah, there's some actors that, like, I don't know, like, a lot of people think Robert Pattinson is going to be good as Batman.
I honestly think so.
I don't know.
Specifically because of his work in The Lighthouse.
I have not seen that movie.
I haven't seen it yet. It looks really good.
I love the tone that they're going for with these old, like, 50s
Yeah.
style movies. And I really enjoyed, like, I really want that to, like, come out, because, like, how did they film that movie? Was it like actual like HD cameras that they just put black and white over, or was it actual film?
It looks like they actually used film.
That's insane.
And the entire movie is in like widescreen.
Because
That's
or not
crazy.
full screen.
you need
fit,
to know
rather.
how to like properly expose black and white film
during a scene. Like, there's some scenes where you're looking, like, there's a window behind them and they need to be lit up. And I've seen that in the fucking, like, in the trailer or something. I'm like, that probably is a fucking shit ton of fucking work to fucking expose.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Film
and like,
properly.
but like especially with all the technology that they have now, it makes it look way better because they can get all these scenic shots with like really high-powered lights and everything too.
Yeah. Fuck. But I haven't seen that and I really want to.
To be fair, Robert Pattinson isn't that bad of an actor. Twilight was just a horribly written
And
franchise.
He hates
Yeah.
it too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he hated doing it the
Yeah.
entire time.
Well, it's like, who's he in Harry Potter? Cedric?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
he did a good job with that
Yeah.
role.
Yeah.
It's not super well because he's quite young, and I don't think and like they are good and they're fun, but when it comes to showing actors' abilities, I don't think Harry Potter does Daniel Radcliffe justice, except for the other ones.
Yeah,
Swiss
because they're
Army
just
Man.
written as like a fantasy film, right? It's
Right, so
like,
it doesn't quite do these actors
Swiss
like
Army
really
Man
justice.
was fucked. And
Yeah.
I loved it. You know what that's about?
no.
Anyone?
Like basically the broad concept is it's a guy who's like, I don't remember the exact
He's
situation.
hiking with his friend and his
Yeah,
friend
remember,
dies.
he's in a survival situation and he uses this guy's corpse.
Oh,
As in, like,
I think I know
as a-
that
as a
movie.
tool.
Yeah.
survival tool.
Yeah.
But then,
Weird.
like, his friend's corpse starts talking to him. And
Yeah,
shit
because he's
like that
going
because
fucking
he's going
crazy.
nuts.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I know that movie. Just kidding. Sorry.
No worries.
It's okay. It's always just fun to describe the plot of a terrifying movie. All right. I was going to bring this up earlier, but Seamus stopped me so I could talk about it on the podcast. What are y'all thoughts on the new SpongeBob movie?
I want to
Because
see it
I'm
really
kind-
bad.
I'm wildly hyped for it, and I
Yeah.
shouldn't
Right.
be because it's SpongeBob.
I am literally
SpongeBob
you
is
should be,
great.
motherfucker.
okay. Hot take, y'all. I am literally so hyped for this movie.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the trailer. I've gone
It's
out of my way not to watch it.
amazing.
Bro, I saw the trailer and, like,
The only other film I did that for was Infinity War, when I was that
Yeah.
crunked for it,
dude,
and Joker.
I'm just gonna say right now, they bring back the Burger Mobile. I don't remember what it's called. Fuck it.
I don't remember, dude. I was like 12 when I
But it was
watched
like the burger
the
car.
actual show.
It's fucking epic.
I love SpongeBob. I still watch it. Some of the jokes are genuinely
And
Yeah.
funny.
the
Water
animation
wings.
looks fucking awesome.
The only problem I have with it is that I'm still a little afraid because, like, sponge out of water.
Oh yeah.
I was a
That was
little
awful.
afraid
Yeah.
that
was an
they would go
awful
down
film.
the same vein of that.
Yeah, same. And then they
And-
amped up the animation. It looks amazing.
looks
Yeah,
so,
it looks
so good.
crazy, man.
Okay, this might be like real weird, but I literally only knew they made a sequel to the Michael Bay Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie like 2 weeks ago. It was only 2 weeks ago I learned that it would be exist.
I knew about it.
I
and
knew
it's
about it right
disgusting.
away.
Nope, I knew about it like 2 weeks ago.
I
That's
was
funny.
Good for you.
I was too lost in my
Honestly,
blind love for
you
the
were-
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that I just knew.
Go Ninja, go Ninja, go.
I don't think I've ever seen a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles
You
movie.
haven't? Not even like the originals?
No,
Not even like the
Wow.
fucking good ones from the early 2000s?
no.
Because those are
I
the
haven't
good
seen
ones.
any of them.
Those ones are good, yeah.
I've seen like bits and pieces of them, but never one in like a whole.
Not like the guys with the costumes?
No.
Really?
I
I own all
own-
three.
I
They're
own
all
that one, but I've
Michelangelo.
never watched it.
I own all three of those 90s.
My sister
Teenage
has a
Mutant
copy
Ninja
of that
Turtles.
one, but I've
Nothing is
never
better than the
watched it.
fucking one with Vanilla.
Yeah, the
Vanilla
second one
Ice.
has Vanilla Ice, and he has a
Oh my
segment where he
God.
sings in it.
No.
It's
Awful.
so
Yeah, I've
it's
never
so
seen
good.
any of them.
You know, Vanilla Ice is in this.
I
like,
used to
not
watch
as
the
a-
cartoon when I was a kid, though.
The cartoon and the cartoons movies were really good. But, no, like, the favorite thing about that is it's not like, oh, Vanilla Ice, like, playing a different guy who's very obviously kind of like him. He's playing Vanilla Ice.
I
Like,
love
he's
that.
Vanilla Ice.
I love
Vanilla
that.
Ice is in New York when the turtles are growing up.
New York. Hey, what's up? I'm on tour.
It's
I
so
got
good.
the turtles here. They're super. In the
Wise
sewer.
man says, forgiveness is divine, but never pay full price for late pizza.
Wow.
Uh,
Wow.
you're missing out. Like,
It's beautiful.
prime quality film. That is cinema. That is cinema.
Yeah,
That
I
is-
see Martin Scorsese would think that's actually fucking cinema, like, to be honest.
Teenage Mutant Ninja
I think
Turtles.
I don't think I've ever seen like a movie that has a better encapsulation of what the 90s were than the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I gotta watch it. I literally own it. I've just never seen it.
There's the only problem I have is the third one of the trilogy. Third one was bad.
Well, so are the first two.
Usually threes and
Yeah.
things
Yeah.
are terrible.
Yeah, think of them like a
Sometimes they slap
third.
though. The best Star Wars prequel
Hotel
is the third one.
Transylvania 3.
Oh yeah. Hotel
It's the
Trans.
best rated one out of all three.
What are you talking
Why
about?
do you know
All
that?
of them are the best.
I've only seen the first one.
Jacob and I talked about it
I
once.
saw
and
the first, second, third, and I think I've seen the fourth.
How many of them are there?
There's only 3.
There's 4, I'm pretty sure.
No, I think
That's
there's
a
only
check.
3.
I'm pretty sure
I
there's
got the
4.
check, boys.
When did you watch all of them?
With my sister,
Oh,
who was youngish. I'm
Youngish.
pretty sure there's 4.
4 is going to come out, but 4 is not out.
Oh fuck. Okay.
Really? I didn't even hear about
Okay,
that.
yeah,
That was
the
a
third
Well, it's 'cause
one
it
was
doesn't come
about
out until,
the
like,
bat
2021,
lady
it's
and
not
that
a-
ginger kid having a kid.
Yeah.
And a kid. And then,
oh my lord.
and then Uncle Draken Sandler has to take care of the kid, and they fuck around and take it to a camp and burn the camp down. And Frankenstein doesn't like fire, so he kills kids.
Wow.
Shit.
I gotta watch
You
that
guys
movie,
gotta
dude.
check out the movie. It's fucking dope.
You know what?
I've only seen
more
the first
inclined.
one. And I saw the first one in theaters. And that's like the only time I've seen it.
That is that's
was
fucking
awesome.
awesome. So the furnace
Hang on,
is.
hang on. Oh
the
yeah, we're totally
furnace-
getting that.
The
We're totally
furnace
getting
is
that.
here.
Do you want to wait?
Sorry.
How's it going? We have furnace on the line here. What'd you like to say, buddy?
Thank you, Furnace. Oh, so you were going to say something, Patrick, right?
I'm gonna say 2 things. Number 1, Jacob and I were talking about Hotel Transylvania 3 a while back, and I believe we were talking about how it ended.
Holy shit!
And because it was particularly interesting how
Dude, the fucking furnace.
They
has
sated the
cracked it.
Kraken with the power of the Macarena.
yeah, they're using chill
Yeah.
vibes to destroy it.
They used chill vibes to destroy the final boss.
And
I
that's
love that. Oh my god.
Wait, of 3?
yeah.
Dude, I.
Because Van Helsing like summons the Kraken with dubstep, and then they fight the Kraken using chill vibes. I'm not kidding.
Yo, that's fucking.
That's literally the scene.
And now I understand.
Fucking
And that's why I
awesome.
understand how that is the superior one to the other 2.
Because of that.
All right.
Dude, I thought 2 was awesome because the kid just grew fangs and he became a bat. Because he wasn't.
You're the type of motherfucker who unironically enjoys Brave.
Fuck Brave. That show was a
Thank
piece
you.
of shit.
Thank you.
Did
like
not
Brave.
remember that.
Brave
It was
sucked.
so non-remember.
I've seen it like once.
Oh, wait,
It wasn't
the Brave
horrible.
Show?
No,
Like the movie Brave.
Oh,
It wasn't horrible.
Yeah.
I've seen it once or
I
twice.
mean, as far as Disney movies go, it's nothing that I didn't
cool
expect.
hair physics.
Cool
yeah, the
hair.
animation was kind of cool on her. Everyone else in that movie looked ugly.
Shit.
I like the dad
Daddy.
because
The dad.
he reminds me of
Yeah.
He fucking reminds me of the Kingpin, where he's like,
Yeah.
dude, just wide.
Yeah, he big. Yeah, that was definitely like the worst of the Disney movies that have come out in like recent years.
Yo.
Well, that's my hot take. In animation, I just love it when fucking like dudes are just like there's fucking big boys, you know, like when they're the Kingpin. Like I just like
Yeah.
I like my big boys because I'm a big boy.
So even louder.
That'd help. A little bit. Maybe.
Yo, that's still fucking loud as fuck,
We
bro.
apologize.
Yo, I apologize for the white noise in the background. My fucking house is a cunt.
Hope we can
Shut
edit
up.
that in post.
I hope so too, man, or else I'm gonna be pissed.
Oh! Sorry. Sponsors.
Oh, dude, yeah, we got some sponsors in the house tonight.
This episode of the Toke
Break.
Break. This episode of the Toke Break is brought to you by Toe Cheese.
Ooh.
Smells delicious, tastes even better. Now including dismembered toe that you can eat, use as a dipping spoon.
Dismembered toe.
Dismembered toe you can
Is
use.
can it be pickled? Can you pick a pickled option?
Pickled
Absolutely, you
jalapenos.
may.
Pickled toes.
And it'll come in a brine that is bagged.
Actually, that brings us to my next sponsor, Pickled Toes. Now, Pickled Toes, if you buy one, you get 2 free, and you can give them to 2 of your family members and never see them again.
Your choice to add or remove toenail. we have anything else that we want to talk about?
Do you have anything you'd like to talk about, guest of the evening?
No, I don't.
Why not?
My brain is
Talk
gone.
right now.
Calm down.
Well, do you think you'd have the brain capacity to plug your stuff?
Plug my Instagram.
Instagram.
It's Veronika the Monster, but it's Veronika with a K, not a C.
And do you have any upcoming events that people can go
No,
see?
book me. Thanks. Help.
All right, now looking for work.
Please. Thank you. Yeah, and I'm a part of Fake Mustache Drag Troupe, so check them out as well at Fake Mustache Drag on Instagram. Ta-da!
Excellent.
Well, we'd like to thank you for coming on to the show and the first episode of the Toke Break.
Yeah. Thanks all y'all listening for coming out. I really hope you're high right now.
Yeah, I really hope
because-
you're like either still fucked up or like are burning out or passed out.
Yeah, but I hope for that last little segment there you were high because it was probably real weird, real funky.
Real weird.
I was
Very
smoked.
edited.
But
This shit gonna change every now and then. Like we really went free flow. We had absolutely no script. We had no like lists, because in the other shows that we have never recorded, we actually we were prepared and had lists, and like we had topics to talk about, and all of that footage is shit and dated. So we have this. So I'm gonna get to editing. And it's gonna be fucking awesome. So I'm gonna leave this for myself at the end.
But yeah, so thanks y'all listeners for coming out right now. I hope you've had a great time. If you have any constructive criticism, please leave it. If you have unconstructive criticism, you know where you can leave that.
In my bum.
Or your
Please.
own bum.
No, in my bum. I'll send you a direct link.
We're getting a little ahead of ourselves. That's for later. That's after they buy us stuff.
Okay, so maybe we got a little bit too high to record a proper ending. So I figured I would just re-record this part now, just to wrap things up properly, comparatively to Jacob finishing us off with some random mumbled garbage. So thank you everyone for listening. I hope this reaches more than myself listening to this back. And thank you again to our lovely drag queen Veronika for joining us on the show. It was a real fun time. It's great to ask some nice questions. And yeah, this was Toke Break, and we will see you next week.